Bubba right now at 478-781-7433. Bubba's Mobile and Tire Repair
Connecting
LLC.
the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.
Macon and WDDO 980 AM.
Perry.
Macon. Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.
Macon and WDDO 980 AM.
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
I like your song.
Yeah. My Benny wrote it.
I know. I was like,
she
yeah,
used
my
to
brother
sing.
wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Got a little hip hop beat to it
Yeah.
too now.
Yeah. Oh my. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ask Elaine. We are just so happy to see you there and to have you there on AM or FM, whichever one, for our first Ask Elaine of 2023. My goodness, 2022 came in and it just was here for a second. And the older you get, it seems like the quicker these days go by. You're at Wednesday, and then the next thing you know, you're into the next week. But welcome to Ask Elaine. This is your community talk and information program. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas. Very proud to represent you on Ask Elaine. And we are your humble servants, and we are so proud that you have allowed us to represent you for this long. Our very special guest today to talk about all things political is none other than Ms. Kimberlyn Carter. And she wears many titles, but one of the main ones that she holds now is that she is the executive director of an organization, and she's going to tell you a little bit about that organization in a minute. But the main thing is that Kimberlyn is a source of information. If it happens, she gets it. And that's what we're about, sharing the last minute, the latest, most current information. Hello, Ricky Crawford. Welcome to Ask Elaine. And so Kimberlyn is here. We were supposed to have Mr. Herbert Denard. I guess he'll drag in after a while. He's
Well,
probably,
my condolences to him. He had a loss in his family.
oh yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. His daughter's pet.
Yeah,
And
Bentley.
she had
Yeah.
Bentley for
As long as I've
for-
known her.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
So
And when you lose a pet, I remember
Mm.
when I was in the school system, we
Mhm.
lost the last pet that we had for the
Mhm.
boys. That dog died, and I know all day during the school day, it would just come back
Sure.
to me, and I would just
Sure.
break into tears. And others understood because your pets become a part of your family. And I
Absolutely.
vowed then
Absolutely.
that we weren't going to get another one
Ugh.
because some
It's
people are
so
able to,
heartbreaking.
but it's your responsibility. Usually it was mine because everybody else would leave.
Oh yeah, I mean, of
And
course.
then the dog standing there looking at me like, You gonna feed me, you
You
gonna walk
Michelle
me,
Obama. That's right.
and
That's
then
right.
come back in the evening. They're at football practice or whatever
And
it
it's you
is.
and the dog.
David's in Atlanta or wherever it is, and the dog's looking at me again like, you gonna feed
That's
me
right.
this
That's right.
this
That's
evening,
right.
you gonna walk me, what else?
That's right.
I need these things. So I said then that was
Uh-oh.
kind of it as far as
No more
pets, because it
dogs.
was
No more
my
dogs. Yeah.
it fell on me.
Mm-hmm.
Good, busy family. But if you're not willing to take care of them, you don't need
Well,
to
that's
get
true.
them.
That's true.
But they do
That's true.
become a part of your family,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
so we express our condolences to
Absolutely.
Deborah in the loss of
Mm-hmm. The
her
entire,
longtime pet, her
companion,
little
yeah.
little baby.
Mm-hmm.
But if Herbert comes in, then we'll just
Absolutely.
have him to sit over
Oh,
there
that's right.
in the corner
That's right.
in
We'll let the
timeout.
king will
In
rule.
timeout. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Those that we didn't get to say Merry Christmas. Hello, Sammy Snell, and welcome to Ask Elaine. And we want to wish you a Happy New Year. There's a lot that we are able to do. We're given a fresh start,
Absolutely.
Kimberly.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's time we make all of these New Year's resolutions. We're going to lose weight. We're going to eat better. We're going to exercise. We're
Mm.
going to treat people better. We're going to do for this one. We're going to attend church. We're going to be more committed to whatever
Mm-hmm.
we've been a part of. I was listening to someone, a psychologist, Black female psychologist, the other day, and she was saying, we set our goals. We say, I am going to lose 50 pounds. I am going to lose 100 pounds. I'm going to do this. She says that we need to phrase things in how we want to feel
Mm.
after it
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
I want to feel better, look better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She said phrase it in terms of your outcomes rather than setting unrealistic goals for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Set something realistic. Once you reach that, then you are
Mm-hmm.
satisfied and
Mm-hmm.
you can continue with it. But if you set these things where you know it's going to be hard for you to reach it,
Right.
you're disappointed and you're more than likely going to fail at it and be disappointed and be
Right.
here in 2024
Right.
making the same kinds of resolutions. So you eat an elephant a little bit at a time,
Well, true.
and
True.
so
True. I
that's what
agree.
we ought to do. Set some realistic goals, some things that will have a maximum impact, and things where you can really see that it's happened. So
Yeah, and
that was what I wanted to share, Kimberly.
oh no, I was just going to share with you that what I did with my team this year, instead of resolutions, I did something called your 1-5-10 plan for 2023. That's one new thing you're going
Uh-huh.
to learn in 2023, 5 things you leaving in
Uh-huh.
2022,
Uh-huh.
and 10
Including
expectations.
some people you're gonna
Well,
leave in
hell, well,
2023.
and 10 expectations you have for
Mm-hmm.
2023,
Mm-hmm.
which, like you said, take some of that pressure off of, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Well, no, my expectation is that I'm going to be healthier in
Right.
2023.
Right.
I'm expecting to walk more in
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to, do more self-care. So definitely all of those things, for the new year.
Yeah.
For the new
Yeah.
year.
That self-care is so important. We, especially Black women, take on so much because we've taken on this big S, the superhero
That's right. That's right.
role, and we try to solve everybody's
Right.
problem. We
That's
end
right.
up a lot of cases having to do it, but we can't take on everything.
No, we
And
can't. We
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
If you pour everything out of your cup, you won't have anything left in the cup,
that's right.
for yourself.
That's right.
And the ancestor, Dr. Audre Lorde, said that self care was revolutionary.
Hmm.
That when we indeed take care of ourselves, that when we place ourselves first in terms of care, that we are indeed disrupting what systemic
Uh-huh.
issues have for us,
Yeah.
right? When we decide to take care of ourselves, we reject these systemic issues that are mapped out that often impact our health, our health, our wealth, and our well-being.
Hmm.
So I agree.
Yeah.
Self care, everybody. More self care.
Self care. Self
More
care.
self care.
Take that stress, some of that
That's
stress,
right.
because stress has been shown to be one of the worst, our worst enemies.
It has. It has. It has.
We stress out, and it causes physical ailments. Your body will soon tell on you
That's right.
if you're undergoing extreme stress
That's right.
continuously. It will tell on you.
And did you see what the goat Serena Williams posted? I can't find it now, but I posted it on my page, and she said, oh, I found it. She says, I am currently allowing myself to be tired,
Uh-huh.
allowing myself to relax, allowing myself to just be. It's harder than I ever imagined. I never allowed myself to do any of that before. And so if you've been following the Williams sisters, as long as
All
I
their
have, and
lives. Yeah.
even watch the movie that Will Smith was so amazing in as well. You see these girls have been playing, they've been
Yeah.
hitting, they've been training,
Yeah.
their entire lives, right? And so resting or just saying I'm tired is something that's difficult. And that's something that's been hard for me too. So that's
Yeah.
why I've
Yeah.
taken an extended break for
Right,
myself.
right. I noticed that a lot of the organizations, those that are in the people business,
Yes, ma'am.
have taken a little time
Yes,
because
we are.
you're under tremendous pressure
Yes,
and
ma'am.
stress
Yes,
for
ma'am.
an extended period of time. And that's a recipe for your body to break down.
That's right.
And it
That's
will
right.
do it.
That's right.
It will
That's right.
do it
That's
with
right.
headaches, with muscle
That's
pains,
right.
with all of these different kinds of things. You're more susceptible to illnesses.
Yes.
And by the way, I want to remind everybody that COVID never went away. COVID
Got a
is
new
still
strain
there,
coming.
got a new one. And every time there's a new one, you gotta recharge yourself. If you have not gotten all of your boosters, go on and get your booster. I think
That's right.
Joyce Gray Humphrey in our office, a volunteer, I think she's gotten the two original ones and then three boosters. The senator has gotten his second booster. I'm going to get my second booster, and I understand there's a third booster for a total of five shots, five immunizations. And so, if you're one of those who hadn't been convinced by now that this stuff will make you deathly ill, that this stuff will kill you, then I don't know what to say. So we've got to go back to the hand washing. We've got to go back to the masks. Um, we have Black Voters Matter mask at EL High School Academy. If you would like to come by, and we've got some plain ones too. And these are courtesy of some organizations that want to ensure that you safeguard yourself.
Yeah.
You've got the
Right.
flu
Right.
that's
Right.
out there. And if you wear a mask, then that decreases the chances you're going to get flu.
We're in a
And all
triple
of the,
demic.
yes, we are. Yes, we
We
are.
have
We
COVID
got COVID,
19, RSV,
RSV,
and
and
this
the
and a hard flu strain. Yeah.
babies are getting hit hard with the
Right.
RSV,
Right.
respiratory type
Absolutely.
things, and people are left on oxygen for an extended period with a
Absolutely.
lot of
And
these.
and Z packs were sitting on the shelves rotting for the past few years because we were wearing our mask and we weren't getting sinus
Uh-huh.
infections. And
Uh-huh.
now every time I talk to someone, they're like, "Child, I don't got COVID.
Yeah.
I have, sinus
Yeah.
infections."
Yeah.
And so, what I generally say to folks is whether you believe in regardless of what you believe, whether you believe in the vaccine or not, whether you believe in COVID or not, the only thing that protects you from any of the above is the mask.
That
It is
mask.
your best
It's your shield.
defense against
Uh-huh.
any of this stuff
Right.
is a mask. And even for us who work around a lot of people, my good friends who are working in factories, working in places with cubicles and things like that, every time somebody gets a cold, next thing you know, it waves through the
All
company.
through. Yeah.
This is your best,
Right. Right.
defense
Right.
on that
And
is a
go
mask.
back to washing your hands,
Oh well,
using I use the hand
child,
sanitizer. We have it all over everywhere, in every room,
me
every
and you
car,
both, me and you
in the
both.
office, at the school. Good afternoon, Patricia
Good
Booth.
afternoon, Patricia
Welcome.
Booth.
Welcome to Ask Elaine. And once again, you've tuned in
Welcome to
to
the new
Ask
year.
Elaine. Thank you, and welcome to the new year.
Yeah.
Those who've tuned in on AM or FM, or those who are on the Glory Live, welcome to a new year 2023. We're going to try our best to make it a better year. 2022 was good because there were some things that we could look at and say, that's intended to help people. That's intended to help people. Reverend Dr. Warnock was re-elected. Wasn't that something? He was sworn in.
Yesterday,
Yes,
he was the
yes.
only one.
We
Well, he
had
wasn't the
some
only
make.
one, but I'm just saying, only
Oh,
people
only
sworn
one.
in.
I
Look,
tell you.
I should have brought my cup today because we have some
Look,
hot tea to
look.
discuss
I
today,
tell you.
baby. But but
The house, our
baby, we
U.S.
got some
house.
tea today. But I wanted to just before we
Yeah,
talk about
go
that hot
ahead.
mess, I just
Y'all
wanted to
need to be
say
watching CNN or
congratulations.
MSNBC. That's what you need
Yeah,
to be
that's right.
watching. You need to
And
be watching.
oh, happy New Year, Myra. I also
Yeah,
watch. Well, I'm a nerd. I'm a political nerd, so I watch C-SPAN because I don't want to hear all them
the
comments
opinion.
from
Yeah,
them clear
yeah.
folk. I want to make
And
my own
C-SPAN
decisions.
carries everything
Right,
just like
And
it
and if you
happens.
don't want those cut-ins and all those other people's opinions,
Yeah,
go to channel 80, 81, or 82 if you have Cox to see C-SPAN. But I want to also, congratulate Senator Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock on his swearing in yesterday.
yes.
5 elections and 2
5.
runoffs. 5 elections and 2 runoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because we over here at the Glory Station, I can always get churchy. The race is not given
Given
to the
to the
swift,
swift. That's
but
right.
to the one who
Who
endures.
endures. I
And
can
so
say
we
that.
need to tip our hat
Yes,
to
yes,
Reverend Dr.
yes.
Warnock.
Salute.
Congratulations to
Yes.
him on his first 6-year term as the first Black U.S. Senator from the great state of Georgia.
Yeah, yeah. That shows what we can do. If we did
That's
that
right.
every election, now I know it wasn't just
Oh,
us
well,
that elected him because there's not enough of us to elect him, but enough of us turning out can make the difference, can make sure that people who carry with them that servant spirit will be elected. So we need to keep that. And for the next 2 years, we're going to be talking about it on every one of these Ask Elaine shows. I don't care what anybody else talks about, they can talk about whatever. We're going to talk voting and how important it is. So if you're not about that, you should be.
that's right.
You
That's
should
right.
be. But we
But
congratulate him.
yes,
Congratulations
congratulations
to
to him.
Sanford Bishop over in the House.
Well,
And
actually, not
he's
yet.
not sworn in
So
yet.
I was
None
just
of
about
them.
to say,
They got a
congratulations,
mess in the House of
congratulations to
Representatives.
Congressman elect,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he is not seated to
If
serve
and
yet.
when. So
So
tell us what's going on with that.
he is not seated. So here we are. Let me see what the latest is saying because
Weren't they in the
um,
fifth vote? I
so
think it's the
now
fifth.
we are so five. So yeah. So because the speaker has not been elected after a second round of votes on today. So now we are moving into the fifth run. And so um you know
The Republicans are
so
trying to
McCarthy
elect
so
a
McCarthy
speaker.
has lost again, but the brother from Brooklyn keep winning.
Trump's boy,
The brother from Brooklyn keeps winning. So let's say congratulations,
Hakeem Humphreys, has
Hakeem.
he's
Congratulations to Hakeem Sekou Jeffries from over there in Brooklyn, on your fifth
uh-huh,
win,
uh-huh,
your fifth time, you know,
right.
getting the highest amount of votes,
It
because
would be really
the Democratic
interesting, Kim.
caucus said they holding, they
That
staying.
and they are enjoying it so much.
That's
It
right.
just
That's right.
warms my heart to see the Democrats sit there and they just look like, y'all let us know when you get your act together, by they meaning the Republicans who don't have their act together. They're sitting up there trying to elect a speaker that Trump says that's who they need to support. And then you've got a group of Republicans who are not going that way, who are not supporting
Yeah.
the one that Trump says, although they're low down now. They're low down too. And
Well,
it's not about us.
that's
That,
yeah, that's that Freedom Caucus,
yeah.
and it's 20 of them, and they are 20 holding very solid. They are far right. They are basically pro. They were pro insurrection.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are all MAGA, and for the most part, before all of this was going on, even Marjorie Taylor Greene is a member of the Freedom Caucus as well. But the caucus has decided that because of some concessions that Kevin McCarthy made during some of the voting, because he publicly chided the Orange Warlock, who was twice impeached, that that they are not going to vote for him, that they are not going to have him. And so literally, Kevin McCarthy, and this is not his first time with this
Right.
issue.
This happened
In
to him before.
2015, in 2015,
They had him sitting
he
looking
tried
stupid
to
then
become the
too.
speaker, and he bowed out. He said, "I don't
Yeah.
have the votes, so I'm not in." So here we are again with him. Now, he has, his nomination started out fiery, and
Oh
his
yeah.
nomination speeches, and now, I mean, every time now they're getting, just a little less, less
Right.
fired up.
Right.
But here is the big twist. So they were trying to cross nominate Jim Jordan, who out of
Who's
Ohio,
awful.
who is really, for those of us who are advocates for people who have been victims of sexual assault and things of this nature, we know that Jim Jordan was a part of a situation at an Ohio high school
Right.
with the wrestling team, and all this kind of thing. And so he's a real coward from all the way back.
Right.
But he's a strong voice. He's real messy. He
He is
keeps
so
things
rude. He
exciting. He's very
insulted.
rude.
Yeah.
He's always insulting black women. And so they tried to put his name up. Matt Gaetz tried to put his name up. Matt Gaetz, who used to be best friends with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Remember, they were
Yeah.
on tour
The
together.
thieves fighting
Now
each other.
they've broken up friendship. And
I love it.
and so after unsuccessfully being able to get Jim Jordan to say, "I will do it," because understand this, Jim Jordan wants to be over that Judiciary Committee. Jim Jordan wants to be able to impeach Biden, bring in Hunter Biden, talk about Hillary Clinton emails. He wants to be able to do, he wants to relitigate everything that's been done under any Democratic leadership. So now, we've got, Um, so Jim is like, hey, stop nominating me. I'm not your guy.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
guess what these people have gone and done? They have gone and nominated Byron Donalds, who is a Black Republican congressman. He was elected in 2020. Byron is from down in the Naples area. Has a real incredible, story of, raised by a single mom, blah, 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 all this kind of thing. And so now these diabolical folks, have gone and got them a brother
They always find one.
because of
They
the
found
success of
Herschel. It's like
because of the success
Herschel
of Hakeem
and
Jeffries.
Tim Scott and all of those.
Yeah, so because of her, yeah, because of what they were able to witness with Herschel, now they've gone to get Byron Donalds, and so Byron Donalds is now on these past two rounds securing the support of the Freedom Caucus. So this will be interesting to see, because if Kevin McCarthy decides that I'm not going to continue to hold America hostage, and if he bows out, and we do end up with Byron Donalds as the Speaker of the House, he would then become America's first Black
Republican
speaker.
speaker.
No, he would be the first Black Speaker
Yeah.
of the House in American history.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an insult to the ancestors.
It is. It is. It is. They're
It's
always
an
able
insult to
to
the
find
ancestors.
somebody that they can prop up, one of these Negroes that they can take and prop up and say, see, we're not prejudiced. Because see here, we've got this Black person. We're not
Right,
prejudiced. See,
right, right,
we supported Herschel Walker. We're not
right,
prejudiced.
right, right,
See, we've got this man here. So
right,
y'all can't say that we're prejudiced because
right.
we're supporting this Black. And this is the kind of person that all of y'all need to be.
Yeah, and Chip
All y'all.
Roy and Representative Chip Roy from Texas that nominated um, Byron Donalds into the speakership literally stood on the House floor supporting lynching legislation, wanting to continue
See.
lynching in Texas, saying that it was a great form of justice, and had the unmitigated gall to invoke the name of Dr. King in the
See,
nomination
y'all.
speech
Yeah.
of Representative Donalds. So when I tell you these
Every
people,
time, every
when I tell
time,
you these
we make
people
one
are
step
running,
forward.
these people are
We
running
make
a
one step
real show.
forward.
They
They
are
can,
running a real show
oh,
in
look,
DC. They're running
we
a real
can
show.
find a Negro who will move us back. But one of the solutions for that, Kimberlyn and Herbert, we've got a special place in the corner for you. Welcome to Ask Elaine.
Hi,
But
Happy New
one
Year, Herbert
solution, the
Denard.
solution to that is what we did here in Georgia.
Is that
And that
Jesse
is
Carter's daughter over
In
there?
the flesh and in the house.
yes, yes.
In the flesh
The
and in the house.
solution is what we did here in Georgia, and that is to vote in record numbers, and we can prevail and we can counteract this thing because that's the new stuff. To find you, the Republicans, find us some Black folks that we can put out in front of you. And we know as long as they're a big time athlete, as long as they're an entertainer or whatever, and they say what we want them to say, they're good with us. So that's the new tactic. And that's not just on the national level, but that's on the state level. And that's on, y'all remember who was the one, the Black guy that had served in the legislature, who was originally in Vernon Jones. Vernon Jones, Black man, had served as a Democrat, then changed over, supported Trump. He was out at the airport when
Crowd
Trump came
surfing.
through here one time, they had him up in the air. These farmers and all these other folks had him up in the air, passing him around up in the air, and he was just grinning. He just, I mean, that was just the ultimate for him. He was so proud. That of why anyway, enough of that. Kimberly, Herbert Denard, welcome. Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year
Thank
and
you.
our condolences as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
to
Thank you.
Debbie and
Bentley.
loss of
Yeah,
Bentley.
we were
Yeah,
talking about Bentley on the show.
yeah,
Bentley was special.
yeah, yeah.
Bentley's famous. Bentley is Facebook famous.
Yeah, Bentley's been on Facebook as long as all of
Yeah.
us have
Right.
been. Cute little dog,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
cute
is Bentley's
friend.
breed? Shih I think.
Shizoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's strange, but people that have puppies,
If you'll
dogs,
speak into the mic so
uh,
we can pull it closer to you,
here,
so we can hear you.
those that have dogs or puppies or cats, if they are there long enough, they become a part of your family.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes,
yeah.
And
sir.
my dog, my daughter's dog, been with us 14 years. Be
Hmm.
15 in February.
Yeah.
So you become attached, and it's sad, but the biggest joy they receive is when you come home. I mean, they
Yeah, they
just
Mm-hmm.
run
jump
up into,
around
they
and
jump
shake that
around, they
little tail
dance, and
and
they
stuff.
just be happy,
Yeah,
and they are
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
completely loyal to you more than a person is,
Mm-hmm.
basically,
Mm-hmm.
because
hmm
Mm-hmm.
you are everything.
yeah.
So,
I was
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
Kimberlyn earlier that the last dog that we had, when that dog died, it hurt me so much. I knew that I didn't need to do that anymore
Mm-hmm.
because you get so attached
Right. Right.
to
Right.
them, and it's like losing a member of the family. And I was telling Kimberly, I cried off and on all day long. I was
mhm.
at school, and every time I thought about it, I would just break out in tears because it was just a hurtful thing. It's
Sure.
like
Sure.
losing a member of the
Absolutely.
family. Let's talk a
I
minute
think we can
about.
all remember losing our first pet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about the young man um, who was injured,
Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah.
We just want to express, our prayers are with that family,
Yes.
and as a family who's lost a son, in our son died as a result of an injury he received in 2005.
Yes, ma'am.
This April will be 18 years
Wow.
since Al left us, April 10th. He was 26 years old at the time. And then when David and I were watching all of that was going on, it just sent, I mean, it was
I
just
could
like
imagine.
reliving
We,
that whole
we
thing.
were all thinking about you all. We were
Look, I
thinking about
tell you,
y'all. We were.
um, we lost our son, and we could just see we wanted this young man. If we could will it, that this
Yes.
young man survive and come back and be able to live a useful
Yeah.
life. I'm just so concerned about this being a heart situation with his heart.
It.
Um,
Yeah.
Ricky Crawford just says McCarthy just lost the fifth bid for
Well, looks
House.
like we're gonna be here all day, folks.
Oh, I am so
Um,
happy.
if I
I'm so
could
happy.
share, the
But
Buffalo Bills organization, uh, the official statement from them today around 1:30 says Damar remains in the ICU in critical condition with signs of improvement noted
mhm,
yesterday and overnight. He is expected to remain under intensive care as his healthcare team continues to monitor and treat him.
right,
And also, if you follow me on Facebook, please go to my page because I also listed there the specific charity. There are,
right,
I am amazed at how sinister people have become in this world, that they take opportunities like this and go and create fake GoFundMe's
Oh, people
and
are
all these
awful.
internet accounts. And so I was shocked when his agent had to say, listen, do not believe all of these fake accounts.
Right.
This is the only place where Damar Hamlin's family wants the funds to go, and that's because he does a toy drive and a book drive up in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Yeah.
every year. I'm glad that Brother Denard is here because he's also been engaged in some stuff about gun violence happening in Pittsburgh in his hometown.
Hmm.
And so that people would take a time. Who takes the time to, well, to create these fake
Oh yeah.
grifting accounts when people are
Uh,
losing family members?
yeah.
It's just
They
unbelievable to
don't
me.
care.
But you can go to my page. I have the link there if you would like to donate. And originally he was only trying to raise $2,500 for the
Oh,
toy drive. It's up to almost 5 million.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so you can go to my page
But
and find
everybody
it.
needs to keep track of this. This young man is just a tribute to our community, to the world. He
Absolutely.
has done some stuff prior to becoming famous.
Yes.
And to me, that's the measure of true
Yes. I agree.
concern and commitment. What you do
Mhm.
before
Mhm.
you're in the
Mhm.
spotlight,
That's right.
when
That's right.
you're kind of expected to
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
That's what I say about those who are out there now talking about running for office.
Yeah.
If you are not doing anything now, then don't come and say and try and convince me of all that you're going to do once you're
That's right.
elected. You got to show me something now. You got to show your service. Before I ran for
That's right.
office, I
That's right.
worked in voter registration, worked with
Yeah, you
Herbert
were a
right
community
out of
organizer.
oh, listen, and fought some. They were about to arrest us out there in Pleasant Hill trying to register voters. There were a lot of things that we worked on, and your dad, your dad was something else. A lot of things that we all worked on prior to saying, I would like to represent you as your voice
Mhm.
at the
Mhm.
table.
Mhm.
So, y'all that are thinking and talking about running for office, because there will be mayor and commission races and some other races coming up in a year and a half. And so I just
Let me.
wanted to say that because I noticed some people already announcing that they were going to run for office. If you can't show folks some service now, then you won't be a good candidate. You would not be, and I
T-
would not support you.
Tell me this: when was the election to fill your slot?
It's it will be next year. It probably is May, I believe,
I thought
May of
2024.
2024.
So
2024.
you cannot seek
I
reelection.
cannot. I'm term limited with consolidation, y'all. Not only did we get a reduction in black voting strength, black representation, but we also got term limits.
So you cannot run
So
and
I can't run anymore. Al Tillman can't run anymore for the commission seat.
right.
Commissioner Virgil Watkins cannot run anymore, and Commissioner
Mallory Jones.
Mallory Jones.
Yeah.
The four of us are term limited. We were in that first group that ran. And so if you run and you win 3 terms is your limit. The mayor is limited to two terms.
And
So
what about on the school board? Do we have?
school board, there are term limits, and
I
so
think Daryl Morton.
Daryl Morton will be his seat will be I
Mm-hmm.
believe up for election, and there may be one more
I was trying, no, I
Sandra
saw
Woodford.
her the other night, and she says not yet.
Okay,
But
okay,
I'm so glad you mentioned her though, because but I'm going to yield to Mr. to Herbert
yeah.
Denard.
Don't you
He was
think
saying
that
something.
that's
He was saying something. I just
go
remembered
ahead?
something
I,
about the school board.
I just wanted to know so people can get prepared to run. that there will be vacancies there
Right.
and on the commission,
Right.
on the school board,
Right.
and there's other positions, citywide or countywide, that they
As a
might
matter of
consider,
fact, we
and
need
state
to
legislatures.
have that list. We will have that list at next Wednesday of those positions that you'll be voting on in 2024. And it will be on us before we know it. You
It's
need to
already
be
here.
registered.
It's already
If
here.
you're not registered, you will not be able to vote. And the biggest thing will be the presidential election coming up, and then the Congress people in the House, Sanford Bishop and all the rest of them, will be running because their terms are 2-year terms. So they will be
And we need to
on your
take it
ballot in
back from these fools
2024.
that we need to take it back from these
Right,
people who
right.
currently have it.
So I
Yeah.
don't know what else we can say. Pastor Lisa Watson has joined us. Welcome, Pastor. We know that there are a lot of Martin Luther King events that Evangelical Ministers Alliance is sponsoring. The Emancipation Proclamation program was held on Sunday evening at 6. Really, really good program. It was held at Unity Missionary Baptist Church on Millerfield Road, where Pastor
Edward Dawson.
Dawson is the pastor. He and with First Lady Dawson,
Helen
and
Dawson.
we enjoyed being there. Judge Colbert and I were two elected officials who were there. Y'all need to take note of who attends these programs too, because a lot of our elected officials don't think they're important to attend. They don't think it's important for them to come out and see what's going on in the community. To me, that tells me something.
Let me ask you this:
Uh huh.
the Martin Luther King program you're going to have on the national holiday. You and Dr. Ficklin and some others had a program last year.
Yes.
Will you have one similar that again
There
this year?
will be one, but we will go back to the old format since, well, COVID kept everybody and the weather was terrible too. But Pastor Lisa was on a few weeks ago and listed all of the events. The marches will take place, and maybe we need to have Pastor Lisa back on to talk about some of the events again so that people will be reminded. But if you want to find out all the events that are going on, you can go to maconbib.com and look for the Dr. King's picture, the icon. Click on that, and there you will be directed to a list of the Martin Luther King events. One event that's taking place tomorrow evening at
Hmm.
4 at Rosa Parks Square. It will be a 30-minute wreath laying
That's
ceremony to
beautiful.
kick off the 2023 Martin Luther King events. And the Martin Luther King board, will be there. We have asked the mayor to do an opening statement that welcomes everybody and encourages all citizens to participate in the Martin Luther King events, which will take place all throughout the year. We don't
Now,
just
what time does
celebrate.
that begin?
That's 4
Okay.
o'clock p.m. tomorrow in Rosa Parks Square. It's the annual wreath laying ceremony where we will place a wreath in Rosa Parks Square in honor of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and all of the other ancestors who gave their all for us that we don't remember,
Hmm.
that we go and play on their holiday. Um, and so we will be there from 4 to 4:30. You're all invited. It will be a 30-minute program. So if you're there at 4:31, you probably will miss it. So let's join us at 4 from 4 to 4:30 in Rosa Parks Square tomorrow. That's the 5th, January 5th, 4 o'clock, Rosa Parks Square for the wreath laying ceremony. Um,
What I was trying to find out, Commissioner, was that the last year you guys had a great event. You and Dr. Ficklin put it together, and you had some of the brightest and the youngest uh, people a part of
we
that
did. We had a
program.
lot of young people
You had a lot of
involved
them. It
with it.
wasn't the same people, it was a whole new group of people.
Right, right.
You said just earlier that this time it will be a little different. It was going back to something.
The
It's
more
not going to be at City
traditional
Hall.
at Stewart Chapel after the march, everybody usually there will be for groups providing refreshments for the marchers in Rosa Parks Square, and then folks will be directed to historic Stewart Chapel, AME Church, where the culminating religious ceremony will take place, and Reverend David Mann will bring the message
Okay.
there. And there will be an opportunity for folks to register to vote. If they have not, there'll
Great.
be handouts, masks, all kinds of things there for people to get. And then there will be food in the parking lot that different groups will be providing for those who march. But we have the group Destined for Greatness, a group of young people who
Mm-hmm.
performed last year at City Hall. They are the spotlight group that Evangelical Ministers Alliance is that program that they're sponsoring. So we're just so happy, and we salute the Evangelical Ministers Alliance, which is our spotlight organization for the year in their efforts to bring back many of the traditional events that we have had in the past. So get your marching shoes, get your banners, get your flags, get your t-shirts, your King t-shirts, and let's all come from the north side, which will meet at Booker T. Washington Rec Center, east side, Rosa Jackson, west side, Frank Johnson Rec Center, and the south side, Memorial Gym. And all the marches start at 11 o'clock
Okay.
on MLK Day, and they will march to City Hall, where they'll be at 12 noon, a very short program. The marchers will be greeted by city county officials and ministers and others. And then from there, all the marchers are encouraged to travel on to Stewart Chapel, which is a couple of blocks up the street, where you will have the traditional Martin Luther King religious service with Reverend James Mann as the keynote speaker on MLK Day. Now, look,
Well, that sounds.
MLK Day is a national holiday, which means everybody gets that day off, just like Juneteenth is now a national holiday. Everybody gets that day off. It ought to mean enough to us that we don't just have the cookout or whatever, that we would participate in these events, not just in January, but also in February, Black History Month, where there'll be a number of events, but throughout the year, so that our young ones will be reminded or will never forget Dr. King and his legacy and the legacy of all of the folks who gave their all for our freedom.
I
Okay,
yeah.
go
I
ahead.
hate that I always miss our hometown activities, but I also count it a blessing that I'm normally off somewhere
Yeah,
being a keynote
yeah,
speaker or
yeah.
being on a panel or invited to speak. But I always brag about the fact that we have a week of activities here, that we have a commission here, because in a lot of cities there's not a commission. There's
Hmm.
not um, you know, a government sanctioned
Right,
commission
right.
to make sure that the legacy of Dr. King is acknowledged. So, Maconites, we should be grateful and thankful for this commission because it doesn't happen in all of these
That's
other
right.
places,
That's right.
in many other even larger cities that I may go to. to speak or participate in a panel or something during that time. It's normally a nonprofit, a community organization, a church, but it's not a government,
Right.
sanctioned
It's in our
commission.
charter.
So
It was
definitely
carried over
we
from the
we
city
should
charter.
be very proud as Maconites that we have this MLK commission. Hats off to you and the commission for making sure that it's kept alive and active. And all the names that I see on the board are people that absolutely not only adore Dr. King, but this community.
Mhm.
And so I heard you mention that the current mayor will be appearing or doing something there. I would also charge this current mayor in his plans for our 200th anniversary, the
Right.
bicentennial
Right.
of this community, that we have a very specific and well funded commission that honors the legacy of Black history, 200 years of our people's history in this community in a very intentional way. And I'm sorry, but I have not heard, seen, or read that that is in any of the plans. And so I would definitely charge him to do so as well as with the commission,
Right.
because we have some very, very rich history here. To go from a city hall that was once the place of a slave
Right.
auction
Right.
that once auctioned off our people, to have four of our people representing us is indeed, it's power. That's a powerful statement on the contributions of our folk on this soil for 200 years, not to mention um, Bishop Henry McNeil Turner,
Oh,
not
yeah.
to mention John
Yeah.
Oliver Killens,
Mhm.
not to mention, D.T. Walton and Jesse W. Carter
Yeah.
and Albert Billingsley, and the
Yeah.
list goes on.
Yeah.
Of different names of people who have, and then folks who our first Black mayor. You are one of our first Black commissioners
We're
under,
gonna have to name something
you know,
for
um,
Jack
when we
Ellis
talk
as
about
well.
Macon civil rights movement, you should be talking to Herbert Denard about what our civil rights movement looked like. We weren't sitting around here watching paint dry. We had foot soldiers, Maconites, who were on the ground demanding equality and equity and rights for our people right here. And this brother is sitting in front of me. So for this 200th bicentennial,
Yeah.
we need to make sure with intention that Black
Yeah.
folk are at the table of planning.
You're right. You're right. Now there is a real strong list of people who are on the bicentennial commission, and next week please remind me to share that list, bring that list, because we approved them. I know Dr. Beverly Glover is on the
But I
on the
trust her.
bicentennial. Alex Habersham,
But
I
I said
believe,
a
is
well
on there.
funded.
Right.
I said a
You're
well
right.
funded. I didn't say names. No, I'm not being shady.
I understand.
I'm just being real. I didn't say names. I said a well funded support of the history and
Right.
expression
That you hit the
of
nail on
our.
the head, because a lot of things you set up these organizations and there's no funding
I'm
to
not
keep it
interested in
going.
Black faces in
Right.
Black
Right.
spaces that doesn't have a dollar
Mhm.
attached.
Mhm.
I'm just not.
Well,
Or
the
funding
the
attached. I'm not
bicentennial
interested.
group is funded, and
I understand that.
yeah, it is funded.
I'm clear
So,
on that.
mhm.
But what I'm talking about is a set aside of funding for the largest population of citizens in this community who also have a history in this community that is not very evident by what you see in the history of Macon.
Well, your point is well taken.
Yeah.
And those points have already been discussed and already taken care of. I
Okay.
understand that the first meeting, that discussion took place
Okay.
to make sure that because of the rich Black history in this community, and blacks making up the majority population of this community and being responsible for the labor that put a lot of the structures and everything
I
in
mean,
City Hall
let's
was
be
built.
very real.
Yeah,
All of the progressive change that happened in this community happened before these folks chose consolidation. Once they
absolutely.
saw that we were able to elect our own representation, and that representation was going to be responsive to the needs of Black folks in this community, then all of a sudden we had to
Let's
change it.
consolidate.
We
That's
had the
right.
majority in city council. We were getting the majority over in the county commission.
Right.
I mean, all
And
right. I'm sorry.
so now,
I'm sorry for
now
going off
we are
topic.
not the majority on the county commission. We are not the majority on the school board. We are not, although we're the majority population, we are not the majority on the water board. We are not the majority on planning and zoning, that board that makes all these decisions about what goes where and what you're allowed to do. Is from a building, a planning standpoint,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
zoning
Yeah.
standpoint. And so we have to make our voices heard. You can't sit back and complain. You have got to have your voices heard. And where you have an opportunity to elect somebody who is Black, who is progressive, who will address your concerns when you have that opportunity, why won't you support those folks?
Mm.
Pastor Lisa is posting a number of items in the chat about the Bicentennial Committee. And she says it's doing 100 businesses, leaders, education, politics, music, and so forth. Um, and she is very much involved with it because she says it's very inclusive of a whole lot of Black history that was left out in the past. I remember a couple of Black
Well, I'll have to
history
call her later
books.
because
Yes,
my definition of inclusive, the S in inclusive is a dollar sign.
I know what you mean. There will be an oratorical contest, and we've already had Miss Allen, who is the program coordinator for Macon Bibb Parks and Recreation. That oratorical contest, we've expanded it
Oh, that's
this
great.
year to have not only high school students, but middle school students, and have
Nice.
them separated into different categories.
That's great.
And so there will be monetary prizes, first, second, and third place, and the actual oratorical contest where these students present their speeches on a topic about Dr. King will take place January 14th at the Senior Citizens Center in Carolyn Creighton Park. There are just a lot of things going on, y'all. So if you want to know about these different things, or you want to print out a list, go to maconbib.com and you will see Dr. King's picture. Click on that, and then you will be directed to a list by the month of the events that are going on. Douglas Theater has a whole lot of events. The Tubman Museum has a whole lot of events, and those will be listed on there.
That's great.
Many, many other organizations. Brother George Muhammad, Juneteenth events. Those that will be here in June before we know it. All of
One of the
these will
longest
be
running in the
included.
nation, too.
Yes, yes. I think it's like what, 30 years, maybe.
One of the longest running in the
That's
nation.
not the music, I
It
know.
is the music. It is the
Golly. But the
music.
Republicans, as I feel sorry for you Republicans, you can't seem to get your act together. But I really don't feel sorry for you because y'all are terrible. So, y'all, Kevin McCarthy probably is asking for all your prayers. I think Maria Bryant said they're on the fifth vote.
Yeah, I'm
The
trying to
fifth
see.
vote for Republicans trying to get a speaker. Otherwise, but it's pretty good for us that they not get a speaker because they can't run roughshod over folks. You know, they want to take the magnum meters that tell whether you got
They
a
already did that.
weapon or not.
They already did
They
that.
yeah,
They removed those day
removing
one.
those so
Yeah, they
folks can
already
come
removed
in with
those.
guns. They're crazy, y'all. Herbert Denard, thank you so much. We're gonna always have you back. Kimberly Carter, we're so glad you're in town now to be here for. Oh, Ricky Crawford says they're on the sixth vote. Poor things.
6 votes.
Bless their hearts. Thank you so much for tuning
You're
in
right,
today.
Lisa. We do need another hour.
For Ask Elaine. We just enjoy having you there so much. So y'all tune in again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine.
Connecting the community through gospel.